Page 139. Sounds right. Unit 12. Listen and repeat the words. Match the words with the same underline sounds. 1,
Bus.
2,
Closed.
3,
Flash.
4,
Fortunately.
5,
Injure.
6,
Shock.
A,
Amazingly.
B,
Catastrophic.
C,
City.
D,
Damage.
E,
Much.
F.
Partially.
Touchstone Students Book, Level 4, Page 2, Unit 1, Interesting Lives. Lesson A, Interviews. 1. Getting started. B. Listen and read. Do you have anything in common with Melita? Tell a partner.
English Department News. Student of the Month, Melita Cortez. You should really get to know Melita Cortez, a graduate student in our English department. Also a talented artist, she spends her free time painting, and she started a sculpture class last month. She hopes one day to have an exhibition of her work. How long have you been living here?
I've been living in Mexico City for 5 years. I came here to go to school originally. It's a great place to live.
Have you ever lived in another country?
No, I haven't. But my brother has. He's been living in Bogota, Colombia for almost a year now. I'm going to visit him later this year.
What kind of music are you listening to currently?
Well, of course I love Latin music. I'm listening to a lot of Latin jazz right now. I like to listen to music when I paint.
What's your favorite way of spending an evening? What do you do?
I like to go out with my friends. We go and eat someplace and then go dancing all night.
When did you last buy yourself a treat?
Last week, actually. I was at a friend's art studio and I fell in love with one of her paintings. So I bought it.
What did you do for your last birthday?
I went home and had a big party with my family.
What's the nicest thing anyone has ever done for you?
Actually, about 6 months ago, I was complaining to my dad that I didn't know how to drive. So he paid for some driving lessons. I was thrilled.
Who or what is the greatest love of your life?
Oh, chocolate. I can't get through the day without some.
What were you doing at this time yesterday?
I was sitting on a bus. We were stuck in traffic for an hour.
Page 3. 2. Grammar. Simple and continuous verbs. Review. Simple verbs are for completed actions or permanent situations. Present.
What kind of music do you listen to?
I love Latin music. I listen to it a lot.
Present perfect.
Have you ever lived in another country?
No, I've never lived anywhere else.
Past.
What did you do for your last birthday?
I went home and had a big party.
Continuous verbs are for ongoing actions or temporary situations. Present.
What kind of music are you listening to currently?
I'm listening to a lot of Latin jazz right now.
Present perfect.
How long have you been living here?
I've been living here for 5 years.
Past.
What were you doing at this time yesterday?
I was sitting on a bus.
Page 3. 3. Speaking naturally. Reductions in questions. A. Listen and repeat the questions. Notice the reductions of the auxiliary verbs have, do, are, did, and you. Then, ask and answer the questions with a partner.
How long have you been learning English?
Why are you learning English?
What do you like to do in your English class?
What did you do in your last class?
Page 4. Lesson B. It's a long story. 1. Building vocabulary and grammar. A. Listen to Dan's story. Answer the questions.
Living abroad. Dan's story. Dan Anderson was born in the USA. He's now living in South Korea. We asked him, "How did you end up living in Seoul?"
Well, it's a long story. Before I came here, I spent 3 years working for a small company in Tokyo while I finished doing my master's in business. To be honest, I wasn't planning on leaving or anything. But one day, I happened to be in the office, and one of the salespeople was looking at job ads online. He knew I was considering going to South Korea someday. You see, my mother's South Korean, and I've always been interested in the culture and everything. And anyway, he leaned over and said, "Dan, this seems to be the perfect job for you. Check this out." I looked at the ad, and I remember thinking, should I bother to apply? But I decided to go for it, even though I didn't expect to get it. And to make a long story short, I got the job. The company offered to transfer me to Seoul, and they agreed to pay for my Korean language lessons. I started working here 2 months later, and the rest is history. I mean, I miss living in Japan, but you can't have it both ways, I guess. Actually, I can't imagine living anywhere else now.
Page 5. 2. Grammar. Verb complements. Verb plus ing or to plus verb. Verb plus ing. Consider. Finish. Imagine. Miss. Mind. Spend time.
I finished doing my master's in business. I spent 3 years working in Tokyo.
Verb plus particle or preposition plus verb plus ing. End up. Keep on. Think about. Plan on.
How did you end up living here?
I wasn't planning on leaving Japan.
Verb plus to plus verb. Agree. Decide. Happen. Offer. Seem. Intend. Expect.
They agreed to pay for Korean lessons. I didn't expect to get the job.
Verb plus ing or to plus verb with the same meaning. Begin. Bother. Continue. Start. Like. Love. Hate.
Should I bother applying? Should I bother to apply?
Verb plus ing or to plus verb with a different meaning. Remember. Stop. Try.
I stopped talking to him. I stopped to talk to him.
Page 6. Lesson C. We're both getting scared. 1. Conversation strategy. Highlighting key moments in a story. B. Listen. How did Mateo and Brian get lost?
Remember that time we were hiking in Utah?
When we got lost? That was funny.
Why? What happened?
We were on this trail, and it was getting dark. Then Brian says, "Where are we?"
Yeah, we couldn't see a thing, and we walked off the trail. It was that bad.
Yeah, there were all these trees around us, and we were so lost. And we're thinking, oh no. And we're both getting kind of scared. We just wanted to get out of there.
I bet.
And Brian says, "Should we jog a little?" And I go, "Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Let's go."
So we started jogging.
And we said to each other, we've got to stick together in case anything happens.
Page 6. 1. Conversation strategy. Highlighting key moments in a story. D. Read more of their conversation. Change the underlined verbs to the simple present or present continuous to make the story more dramatic. Then listen and check your answers.
Yeah, and all of a sudden, we hear this noise.
And I look over at Brian, and I see his face is white, and he's starting to run fast.
Well, yeah. I mean, it was a weird noise.
So I'm thinking, wait a minute. What happened to our plan to stick together? So I start to run with him.
Yeah, we're running through the trees, scared to death. It was hilarious. It was just like in a movie.
Page 7. 3. Listening and strategies. A lucky escape. B. Listen. Write answers to the questions you chose. Then share answers with a partner. Can you remember the entire story together?
This one time, some friends and I were skiing up in Idaho.
Uh-huh.
And a friend of mine fell 1,200 feet down this mountain.
1,200 feet?
Yeah.
No kidding.
Yeah. He was just tumbling down. Looked like a rag doll. He was unconscious, bouncing off cliffs that dropped 10, 15 feet at a time, you know?
Ooh.
He finally got down to the bottom and slid out about 300 yards on the snow.
Uh-huh.
And we all thought he was dead. Like, we were looking down at him. He wasn't moving, so we had to ski down to him. I thought he was dead, so it was pretty scary. But anyway, we got to him. He was unconscious. After a couple of minutes, we kind of shook him and stuff, and he woke up.
Uh-huh.
He was like coughing, and he's got 2 bumps on his head about this big. His one eye was closed shut.
Wow. You know, it's a miracle he survived that.
It is a miracle. And so, I stayed with him, and 2 other guys skied down, and a rescue team came about 4 hours later and took him out. Flew him to the hospital in a helicopter.
No kidding.
Yeah. I mean, it was a big deal. It definitely gave me a new perspective on life.
Oh, yeah. Wow. How did you guys get a hold of the rescue team?
These guys, our friends, hiked out. Like, they skied down. We were pretty far into the park and high up.
Right.
So they skied down and hiked out to the trailhead. Got in their car and drove to town, you know?
Wow. The guy was really lucky.
Yeah.
Do you still keep in touch with him?
I do, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Is he still skiing or...
Well, not yet.
No. How long ago was that? About a year or 2 ago?
No, that was about 3-4 months ago.
Oh, really? Now, does he have any broken bones?
No, that was amazing. He didn't break anything.
You mean he didn't have any... He just had a few bumps on his head and nothing more?
Yeah, but, well, he was in the intensive care unit for about 5 days just being under observation. He hurt his neck, but it was okay.
Wow. I can't believe he didn't break any limbs.
Yeah, he was lucky. He's fine now.